Friends, it's a pleasure to meet all of you once again online for this very special session, PARDES. It's a trialogue on Foreign Exchange Management Act. Last week, we started this session with NRO account. This week, we are going to understand another dimension of resident accounts, especially with respect to non-resident external accounts, which is maintained in India. We have with us two very important persons. One is Srimati J. Lalita, a very experienced banker, ex-Bank of Baroda, with years of experience in Forex. And we also have with us CA VV Sampath Kumarji, expert on indirect taxes and a registered valuer and also an insolvency professional. I welcome on behalf of all the participants, both of you for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
Let me now hand over the session to CAVV Sampath Kumarji to steer this session forward with respect to non-resident external account.
Friends, I am very delighted to be part of this trialogue on FEMA and international taxation in this continuing series as mentioned by Dr. Raju. Today's topic is NRE account. Dr. Raju is a chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, registered valuer, insolvency professional. It goes on. I think the session will not end. It will take the entire time. He is a passionate and terrific teacher. I am a sincere student of Dr. Raju, like thousands of persons across the breadth and width of the country and globally. The first question, let us go to the topic specific. Madam, what is the eligibility to open and maintain NRE accounts?
Well, very good evening to one and all. Thank you so much to be part of this trilogue. When we talk of non-resident external account, who can open it? We need to understand one thing. It is extended to the Indians, the native Indians, like NRIs and person of Indian origins, because there are a lot of freebies attached to it. So to put it across simply, non-resident external account can be opened and maintained by a non-resident Indian and by person of Indian origins.
Thank you, madam. And Dr. Raju, what are the various types of accounts, NRE accounts, and the rate of interest generally that is applicable?
There is, when I give you the passbook of Indian account and NRE account, we will not be able to distinguish it by the printout of it. Only from the header, we will be able to see that it is an NRE account. Like how we can open Indian here, a resident here, he can open a savings account, a current account, a recurring account, and even a fixed deposit. Non-resident Indians or person of Indian origins can open an NRE account in all these four formats.
Okay. Madam, what are the permitted credits in NRE accounts?
Well, as the name goes by, non-resident external account, one major condition is there, that is foreign remittance is only allowed. That is inward remittance coming from abroad is basically allowed. Okay. Anything other than that, yes. If there is any interest accrues in such accounts like NRE fixed deposit or NRE SB or any closure of NRE FD or FCNRB accounts, all this maturity accounts, like wherever the investments are made from this NRE account or through inward remittance, that can be credited here. Also, I can also, one more thing I would like to say, like The other day we were discussing about NRO account, like where there is no NRO account, but it's a legitimate income locally, rent, dividend, pension, interest, everything, all this subject to payment of tax. Even this can be credited here, right? There are certain small restrictions there. And any transfer from another NRE, another FCNRP is allowed. From an NRO to NRE is allowed up to USD $1 million, subject to payment of tax.
So normally only remittances inward should be foreign exchange, exception being with the conditions a particular situation explained by your good sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Raju, what are the debits allowed in an NRE account?
Debits here respect to the expenditure. So, madam was giving the examples of credits. Those are income. Now, these are all expenditures. Now, once this NRE account is opened and we have money credited to this account from abroad for the local expenditure, otherwise we can call it as local disbursements. So there are maintenance or payment made to the relatives, family members, transfer to the local resident accounts possible. Number two, since the money is credited from abroad, this is a two-way account. So remittances outside India is also possible. We need to understand one thing, that NRE account, whatever is the in the balance in NRE account, it is freely repatriable. So we can take it outside India. Number three, if the account holder, NRE account holder, he has a FCNR account, that is called foreign currency non-resident account. It is a fixed deposit account, 1 year, 2 year, up to 5 year account. When he has a FCNR account, which will be in foreign currency, designated foreign currency, and NRE will be in rupee account, because non-resident external rupee account. So from here, he can transfer to FCNR account. Similarly, when there are others, for example, he has his friend or his relative, his wife is also a non-resident. So the husband wants to transfer to his wife's NRE account, possible. To his family members' NRE account, possible. To his family members' NRE account or to the resident accounts, both are possible.
Thank you, Dr. Raju. You are told about the two-way operations and the
One more,
repatriability and
sorry,
all.
sir. There one more. And there are possibility. Now, these are all minor expenditures. There will be some major items. For example, investments in Indian company, shares, bonds, debentures, mutual funds, which has to be done. That can be done by non-resident sitting from abroad. They can fill up the form. Nowadays, all these are online forms. So they can directly make debits to this particular account with respect to subscription to shares, even commercial paper, bonds, mutual funds, etc. Another one is he wants to make a purchase of any immovable properties in India, subject to the general or special permission approved. For example, non-residents are not allowed to acquire agricultural properties in India. So maybe he wants to buy a residential apartment that is permitted. So he can make an agreement with the buyer, I mean, with the builder, and the payment can be made from the NRE account. So all these are possible.
Madam, Lalita Madam, there are funds available in NRE accounts. What are the loan or facility that can be extended by a banking institution to such account holder or other parties?
Yeah, only one condition is there, sir. Like, if you look at it, it's my deposit. It's an NRI's deposit. So on that, can I take a loan? Yes, it's allowed. It's just like any other loan against fixed deposits. It's allowed. The one condition, what I'm telling you is, the loan amount will not be credited to NRE account. It will be credited to NRO account. For obvious reason, because in NRE account, the credit can be only from abroad. So locally, when the loan is given, it's an Indian, it's a disbursement in India given by an Indian bank. So what happens is the loan amount will be credited to the NRO account only. One. Second, whatever is the credit of, I mean, the loan amount that is given to this NRI, what are the purpose for which it can be used if you look at it? As Dr. Raju had already mentioned about the investments part of it. They can use it for any personal purpose or for carrying out any business activities. But it is not for relending, or it is not for carrying on agriculture plantation activities or for investment in real estate business. That's one condition. Second is, they can take this loan to do any direct investment in any company in India, but it is on non-repatriation basis. Third, they can take loan against their NRE deposit for purchase of flat or house for their residential purpose here in India. Okay. Can they take a loan against this NRE FDRs, which they have, which, let's say, for example, they have a fixed deposit with Bank of Baroda, it's an NRE FDR. Can they take a loan against this outside India? Yes, they can take a loan against this NRE FDR outside India in any branch of this bank. It's allowed by earmarking the fixed deposit here in India. So that loan amount can be either closed outside India by remittance from outside India, or it can be closed on maturity out of the proceeds of the fixed deposit also. It's allowed. Okay. Can I, like, say, I'm an NRI and my family is here. I want my family to take a loan. So, against my FDR, can a loan be given to a third party? Yes, it is allowed. But only thing is, again, it will have to be all this loan which is sanctioned to the account holder. It will have to be repaid by adjusting the fixed deposit or by getting a foreign remittance from outside India. Okay, it can be either through inward remittances or from outside India, or through closure of fixed deposit, or with the balance in the NRO account also it is allowed. So when I give a loan against the NRE fixed deposit to an NRI, what is the rate of interest? Or when I give the loan against the NRE fixed deposit to a third party, what is the rate of interest? These are all subject to the bank's own policies and guidelines, which is being followed. Reserve Bank of India has given them a free hand, to decide on the rate of interest.
So, in simple terms, in one particular stand, I can understand is once the NRE account loan facility is taken to in India for acquiring a property in India, the repatriation benefits of to that extent what has been availed may not be there, or it is losing its eligibility to repatriate to that extent of the loan avail. Can I take like that?
You mean to say that, I'm just repeating the question. You mean to say that the loan amount taken on the NRE FDR is
Yes.
not repatriable? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. Raju, the residential changes to an NRI with respect to this particular account where he is holding. What is the effect of that with respect to the accounts?
Well, after opening an NRE account, when the account holder, when they are coming back to India, there are two possibilities here. Possibility one, they are coming on a short visit, a month, 2 or 3, whatever it is, and they are going back. So when it is on a short visit, there is no need for conversion from the non-resident status to a resident status. But a non-resident, he is coming back to India permanently and settling down in India for employment purpose or business purpose or on a vocation purpose or for any other purpose, then the non-resident external account at the option of the account holder has to be redesignated as a resident account. I repeat, has to be redesignated as a resident account. One thing, see, today we are on 2nd of July 2022. The moment it is redesignated, interest up to the particular date of redesignation will be NRE interest. After that, it will be resident interest. There is a difference. Up to that redesignation date, NRE interest will be eligible for the income tax exemption. After that, it will be taxable interest. So these implications are there. So it is very, very critical.
Very nice. Yeah, Raju, you mentioned at the option of the account holder. To what extent it can continue to be in NRE also if the option is not exercised?
That's a very good question. Actually, it is a responsibility. So it is not why the banker will not do is because it is not at the instance of the banker they are coming back. So it is only at the option of the account holder only they are coming back. So it is
So,
their responsibility, and
very,
they only have to actually inform the banker. So in
very
that
nice.
sense only I've used the word called option.
Lalita madam, is there a, I remember to have listened last week about NRO account, joint account is possible. Whether the same is extendable or same logic is applicable with respect to NRE account to have a joint account?
Yeah, see, it is like any other bank accounts, right? See, banking is very simple. Whether it is single NRI, yes, NRE account. As I said, like I'm an NRI and I want to have a joint account with my husband who is an NRI too. Is it allowed? Yes. Can I have it with another NRI? Yes, it is allowed. Can I have it with a resident? It was not allowed earlier, but it's allowed
Oh,
for quite some time. So I, as an NRI, can have a joint account with a close resident relative, as mentioned in the Companies Act 2013, Section 277. Section 2, subsection 77, what does it say? It gives a list of close relatives. Who are the close relatives? Mom, dad, brother, sister, then again this side relative. The number has been restricted now to a large extent. So as per the new amendment of the Companies Act 2013, the close relatives have been redefined, and those people can have a joint account. Okay, then does it make any sense? Then how do I call it an NRE account? In what way can I see? Because when I give an NRE account, I need to see an NRI gets benefits out of it. If I involve a resident relative, then there'll be a lot of confusions. So there are certain restrictions. So I need to tell you about the operational instruction. If I'm an NRI, I have a joint account with another NRI. Is it allowed with joint operation? Yes. Either or survivor? Yes. Former or survivor? Yes. Okay, I'm an NRI. If I have a close resident relative as a joint account holder, what will be the operational instruction? It will be only former or survivor. So, be
oh,
it an NRE account or any such designated account like FCNR or NRO, also for that matter, the operational instruction will be former or survivor only with a resident close relative.
very nicely explained and distinguished between the two kinds of types of operation between NRI and NRI joint account, NRI and resident joint account. Thank you, madam. And Dr. Raju, what are the operations with respect to the power of attorney that can be kept or executed or not with respect to NRE account?
This is a very important topic. Joint holders has been mentioned. Now, operations of the NRE account, can it be given to a resident relative? For example, son is working abroad, daughter is abroad. The NRE account operations, power is given to a family member, father, mother. Now, point number one here, account opening of NRE account cannot be done by a power of attorney holder. Very important. So it can only be opened by the non-resident Indian can open the NRE account. Second, there are local expenditures. So we have understood that there are debits that is possible. What are all the debits? Local expenditures and any investment to be done. So these two activities, especially local expenditures like payment of electricity, rent, and with respect to the medical expenditure, withdrawal, cash withdrawal, all these are possible by the power of attorney holder. Now, With respect to the investments, can the power of attorney holder can do. Now, power of attorney holder takes the avatar of the NRE account holder. So he is the alternate. So if NRE account holder is permitted to buy a property investments as per the general or special permission, like for example, the NRE account holder is permitted to buy an apartment in India, then the power of attorney holder can issue check as a POA holder to buy property on behalf of the NRE name. So this is very important here. And repatriation is possible. So in debits, we know that as credit is possible, repatriation outside India is possible. But like how the power of attorney holder cannot open an account, only the NRE account holder only can open an account. Repatriation outside India cannot be done by the POA holder. It can only be done by the account holder.
So, in simple terms, Indian operations and the
Investments.
specific investment, what is all eligible for the NRE account, is steps into the shoes of the NRE account holder to the extent of Indian expenditure and Indian investments. Correct, Doctor?
Correct.
Thank you. Madam, temporary OD facility and special series checks. Is there anything that is specially applicable to NRE accounts?
Yeah, here what we need to remember as banker and as a client is NRIs are very special to us. So no doubt about it. That is why you style it as NRE, non-resident external account, and we attach a lot of freebies to it. One such is to first, when you were talking about the TOD, the temporary overdraft. Yes, in the savings bank account we can allow TOD up to rupees 50,000 rupees, which has to be adjusted within 14 days. But to be adjusted out of what? Out of funds coming from outside India, or out of the debit of another NRE account or fixed deposit NRE account or an FCNRB account, it has to be liquidated. That is one. There was something about the special series of checks. As I told you, these are the people who have to be identified and have to be given special treatment in the banks, right? So this is only to enable the bankers to identify this is a very important client for me. He is very important for the country. Then in that case, the way we handle the quicker processing and easy identification, for all that, the checks will be titled as NRE accounts, right? So the banks have been given specific instructions to issue certain special series of checkbooks only, wherein it is titled as NRE account.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Dr. Raju, what are your inputs with respect to repatriation of funds to non-resident nominee compared to the remittances abroad by resident nominee with respect to NRE accounts?
Well, every account when that is opened, a non-resident Indian, when he opens an account as an NRE account, it is mandatory that he has to give a nomination. Generally, nomination will be given by the account holder's relative, family member, only will be the relative. When the account holder is no more, the deceased NRE account holder's balance has to be transferred to the nominee. So the deceased account holder's amount has to be transferred. And who will do this? This will be done by the respect to authorized dealer only banks after due verification. So that is why the respective Reserve Bank of India's the deposit regulations very clearly mentions that the authorized banks may allow remittance of funds lying in the NRE deceased accounts holder. So it is may, it is not must. So you cannot go and compel the banker, no, you have to, by default, you have to transfer it. So there is a obligation on the banker to verify what is the credential of that particular nominee, and then only it can be done. One more, can the remittances can be done abroad by the resident nominee? It is NRE account only. See, the nominee is resident. and the money is money remitted from abroad. Now this guy is being the nominee and he is eligible to receive that money. He says, no, no, no. There are certain liabilities outside India. So we want to transfer that money outside India. Is it possible? Can it be remitted outside India? Actually, if the account holder is alive, it would have been remitted. It would have been repatriated. Now, as a resident nominee, can he do that repatriation? Means he can make a request. See, already 1 lakh, sorry, 10 lakh in Indian rupees is there. I want to convert that in US dollar or Singapore dollar. I want to remit to Singapore or to California. It is possible. Possible. This request will be made and Reserve Bank of India will consider that request and then only will permit.
So there is a due process in place. Only then the resident nominee can transfer the fund to the foreign account, as that of which
That word
otherwise the
only,
NRE account.
only repatriable, you have to remove the word freely. It is
Ah,
repatriable
With
subject to
certain
RBI.
restrictions.
okay, okay, nice. That's very nice, madam. What are the tax exemptions and the opening of an account during temporary visit that is possible to a visitor in India to India?
Well, see, these are two different questions.
Yeah, yeah,
When we talk of tax
yes.
exemptions, one major freebie for one more, like apart from the 100% free repatriability, no questions asked, whatever is the balance in NRE account. One more thing is no TDS. Any income from the balances, like interest on the balance, which is in the credit of the NRE account, that is totally exempted from income tax. In the same way, the balances held in such accounts are exempted from wealth tax also.
Good.
Okay, so absolutely no question of tax to be worried about in case of an NRE account. Now, when you come, the second part of the question is about opening of the account. I think during the temporary visit to India,
Yeah, yeah.
no problem. When I visit India as an Indian, basically as a person of Indian origin, as an NRA, can I open an account? Yes. Only thing what the authorized dealer has to see is this person is not a resident Indian. This person's status is still NRA. How do I ensure? I need to look at the passport, the visa, the address proof over there, the address proof here. So all that, like basically take care of the KYC, ensure the status is non-residential only. He is a non-resident Indian, he or she. Then definitely they can open an account. But there also, the remittance has to come from abroad. But when I come on a temporary visit, say I come to visit somebody here, I'll be here for 3 to 6 months. I may be getting money from abroad. So how do I open an account? Can I open with a local money? No. Might be bringing with me some foreign currencies or TCs people don't use now. Maybe some travel cards, foreign currency, or any SWIFT transfer, funds transfer, anything that is received. With that, the NRE account can be opened by an NRI or a PIO who visits India on a temporary basis.
Very nicely explained with respect to the tax exemptions and also the possibility of a opening of an account by a temporary visitor, subject to the responsibility on the bankers to validate about the residential status. Dr. Raju, Dr. Raju, you want to say something, please?
Yeah, yeah. So I will just add, so there is one more dimension I want to say with respect to that tax exemption. Interest part. NRE account holders, they'll enjoy the rate of interest quite competitive. And of course, it is monitored and regulated by Reserve Bank of India. So you will have an average interest rate of 5.25% to 5.5%. It is in a savings bank account itself. Of course, there are banks where they will give a lowest rate starting from 4.25 and it goes up to 6.75%. This is for savings bank itself. So that is also another interesting or a perquisite with respect to this NRE account.
A tax-free, wealth tax-free, no TDS situation with respect to NRE and also FCNR accounts is a very attractive proposition for a
NRI.
account, NRI or any NRI.
PIO,
That's
PIO.
very nice, a glitching point. Thank you very much. All the questions were very concisely, very clarity in simple terms. Thank you very much, Madam Lalita and Dr. Raju. Thank you very much. We'll see in the
Thank
next.
you very much, sir, and thank you, madam, for this wonderful opportunity you have extended by sharing your valuable time for our virtual members. See you once
Thank you.
again for the next
Thank you.
episode.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Raju. Thank you, Dr. Madam Lalita.